Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay, no problem. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Cool. Oh, what the? What?
I gotcha.
What is this?
It's obviously a chicken and a cute one.
Okay. Why is there a squeaky chicken on my chair?
Because I thought it would be funny.
It's like a
was.
stupid prank,
Yeah.
basically.
A smart prank.
Actually, I like chickens.
You do?
Yeah, I think they're really cute. And that's why I'm a vegetarian, because I don't want to eat these poor little guys.
Okay, then you can keep it.
Actually, I have a friend who has a fear of birds. It's
Uh-huh.
like a phobia. Have you heard of that phobia before?
Uh-huh.
Ornithophobia?
Ornithophobia.
Say it 3 times.
Ornithophobia.
Ornithophobia?
Ornithophobia.
Hey,
Okay,
not
I got
bad.
it.
But in fact, he will eat chickens.
What?
Yeah.
So he's scared of it, but he'll eat it.
Yeah, but I guess it's already dead, so
Yeah.
I think he's afraid of like live birds in general, you know, but I think it was because he was like, he grew up somewhere and he went to visit like an uncle and they had chickens and the chicken like chased him
Oh.
and he got really scared, so now I think his revenge is to just eat a lot of chickens.
I guess that makes sense.
Ornithophobia.
Speaking of chickens, we're actually going to be talking about these flightless
So
birds.
that's in fact why you put a chicken on my chair.
I mean, it was definitely fun, so I didn't have to do that.
Okay.
I could have just been like, hey.
All right, why don't we go ahead and start the lesson?
The average chicken may not seem that important. After all, there are billions of them. However, their eggs and meat keep countless people fed every day. In fact, humans have been relying on chickens for thousands of years. Modern chickens are related to the red jungle fowl, which is found mainly in Southeast Asia. Some scientists believe rice farmers in central Thailand started feeding these birds around 4,000 years ago. Then, humans began breeding them and transporting them across the oceans. They likely reached northern Africa and Europe around 800 BC.
Hello everybody, welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Shane.
And I'm Nina.
And today we are talking about part 1 of how a flightless bird spread around the world. Well, I don't think it's spread by flying.
Yeah, definitely
because
not.
it can fly. So
Very
we're
true.
talking about chickens and they do not fly, but they have wings. Why?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's because so that we have chicken wings to eat.
Oh, yeah, I bet you
right?
like chicken wings, huh?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's too bad you can't enjoy it.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I can, but I choose not to.
Yeah, so you're not enjoying it either way. But yeah,
Well,
flightless chickens.
Let's learn all about chickens.
All right, so let's start with a story. The average chicken may not seem that important. After all, there are billions of them. Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, because we are breeding them for food, and think about how many people consume chickens. Like, that's a lot of chickens that are
Yeah.
eaten. So there's just like billions and billions. But the sad thing is they're all just like locked up, right?
Yeah, that is sad.
That's
They,
why- that's
they
why I
should be
don't
free
eat them.
range, right? Would you
Yeah.
eat them if they were free range though?
Technically, I would eat them.
Okay.
But I kind of lost the taste for meat since I haven't eaten meat or
Yeah.
chicken in a long time.
So you don't crave it anymore.
Not at all.
Okay, so the word average is an adjective. So it's an average number is a number you get by adding two or more amounts together and then dividing them by the total amount. So
Okay.
let's say 4 plus 6
Yes.
equals 10,
Yes?
and the average would be
5?
Yes, there you go.
I am a genius.
Super smart. All right. The average American family earns about $67,000 per year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that true? 67,000. That's not too bad. It's a lot less in Taiwan.
Yes, it is, unfortunately.
But things cost less in Taiwan.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
Okay. Continuing about chickens. However, their eggs and meat keep countless people fed every day. In fact, humans have been relying on chickens for thousands of years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I would say I eat chicken on average around 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people say white meat is healthier, so.
Oh, okay. So it's not because you really like the taste of chicken more than like beef or pork. It's just that you feel like it's a more healthy alternative.
Yeah, I mean, like if you switch between all the different meats, you're gonna still have like chicken 3 or 4 times.
Okay, I guess.
Like, you know, like steak maybe once or twice a week.
That's true. If you're eating like 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Then, okay.
So continuing, modern chickens are related to the red jungle fowl, which is found mainly in Southeast Asia.
Interesting.
I did not know that.
I had no idea either. Okay, so related just means having some connection. So when we say like an animal is related to another animal or a person's related to another person, usually have some connection by blood, right? Like maybe the mother and father, like that kind of a thing, right?
Yeah. So, for example, your mom is related to you.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
there you
actually
go.
is. I think you have to be related to your mom, right?
Yeah.
For example, you say monkeys and humans are closely related. Continuing, some scientists believe rice farmers in central Thailand started feeding these birds around 4,000 years ago.
Oh, wow. So in Thailand,
Wow.
maybe.
For some reason, I don't know. I would think that it started in a Western country, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I would think that. Okay.
I guess you're from there.
Yeah.
Continuing, then humans began breeding them and transporting them across the oceans. Huh, okay.
So they just spread around the world that way. Not by flying, but by boat, probably,
by
right?
boat, probably. They likely reached northern Africa and Europe around 800 BC.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they've kind of spread around the world pretty early on.
Yes.
And so to transport, so transport is a verb, just means to carry something from one place to another.
Yes.
So for example, you can say the boat transports people across the river.
Yeah. That's why we have the noun transportation. You use it to go from one place to another.
Right, so a bus is a form of transportation because it transports you from like home to work.
There you go.
Okay.
So now we've learned more about the flightless bird chickens and how they started going to Europe and Africa.
But there's so much more to learn, but I think we should do that after the break.
Yes, we'll see you after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 How a Flightless Bird Spread Around the World。不会飞的鸟如何遍布全世界呢？好，我们先补充一下 ，flightless 它是可以用来描述鸟啊，或是昆虫等等，它没有飞行能力的，不能飞的。那它就是由 flight 飞行加上这个形容词字尾 less 无法怎么样的，把它构成在一起变成 flightless。那其实标题里面这个不会飞的鸟指的是鸡。课文就写到说，一般的鸡啊，可能看起来不是那么重要，但是事实上，人类数千年来都一直仰赖这种动物哦。现代的鸡和红原鸡有亲缘关系，红原鸡主要是存在于东南亚。那有些科学家就认为，泰国中部的稻农呢，大约在4000年前开始喂这些鸟类。那么后来人类开始饲养它们，然后把它们这个漂洋过海就运送到海外了。可能是大约在西元前800年左右抵达北非和欧洲。好，单字 average 它是形容词，形容一般的、普通的或是平均的。related 它可以用来描述动物是有亲缘关系的，它也可以描述是有亲属关系的或者是相关的。related 后面常常会接 to 加名词来指跟什么什么有关。再来 transport 它是动词，有运输、运送的意思。补充一下，老师们在聊到很多鸡是被养在笼子里，而不是用放养的。那我们可以用 free range。free 连字号加上 range 构成这个形容词，就可以描述动物它是放养的，像我们说放山鸡就是放养的那一种嘛。接话课文中。
In these areas, chickens were not used for food at first. Rather, they were considered exotic pets as they were seen as too rare to eat. Some people even thought they were divine creatures. In Egypt, the earliest chickens were bred for cockfighting, while in Rome they were kept by temples for divination. People, however, soon discovered how tasty a chicken could be. One of the first places where large groups began eating chickens on a regular basis was in Israel around 400 BC. Over the next 1,000 years, more and more farms throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia began raising chickens.
Welcome back. So before the break, we learned that chickens actually started being bred in Thailand.
Yes.
And then after a while, spread to Northern Africa, in Europe.
Yeah, so they didn't start off in Europe or the West or the West.
I was thinking about during the break, why do we, like, if someone's like not very brave or easily afraid of things, why do you call them a chicken?
That's a very good question, right?
I mean, because most animals, like unless it's like a dog or a cat or something that's been domesticated, they're pretty scared of people.
That's true. Like, you don't see me calling you a squirrel when you're being a scary, scared.
A scaredy squirrel?
A scaredy squirrel.
Oh, you say scaredy cat.
Yeah.
I
You don't say scaredy chicken, though. But yeah.
Maybe because they're so common and you're around them a lot and they do easily scare compared to like a cow or a dog. They don't get that scared of you when they come near. So.
But other birds get scared too.
Right, yeah, like
don't
pretty
call
much
a pigeon.
all birds. That's what I mean, because chickens are so common and we raise them.
All right,
and
yeah.
you try to get them and they run away from you.
Maybe that's the case.
Because
yeah.
they know you're going to kill them. Of course they're going to run away.
All right.
All right, let's begin.
Let's begin. In these areas, chickens were not used for food at first. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
What were they used for?
Yeah.
Rather, they were considered exotic pets.
Oh.
Imagine petting a chicken.
I don't think I ever have pet a chicken.
Me neither.
Us city folk, right? We have no connection to like farm animals.
Yeah. So, as they were seen as too rare to eat.
Okay. So if you say something is an exotic pet, you mean that it's a pet that is really uncommon to be a pet.
Exactly.
Right? So some people will even like raise like tigers and things like that, which is probably a pretty bad idea.
Yeah.
And we would call that an exotic pet.
Yeah, so the chickens, they thought they were too rare, right? Because they didn't see them around that often, so they thought maybe there are not that many chickens, so we don't want to eat them.
Yeah, okay. Some people even thought that they were divine creatures.
Ooh.
Okay, so if you say they're divine creatures, it's kind of like they're really like almost like godly or something like that. And then, they're not like something that you want to eat because maybe you will anger the gods.
Maybe.
Okay, so a creature just means a living animal. Although we're animals, we usually don't call a person a creature.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, Nina, she's a pretty nice creature.
Yeah, please don't call me that.
Right? It sounds like an animal. But technically, I think a person is technically a creature.
Technically, yeah, but we usually use it for animals that aren't humans.
So for example, you could say many kinds of creatures live in this valley. Okay.
All right, continuing. In Egypt, the earliest chickens were bred for cockfighting.
Cockfighting.
Cockfighting, that's crazy. Okay, while in Rome, they were kept by temples for divination.
Cockfighting is like, it's such a cruel thing to do.
It's so weird.
Like I've seen that they like put like little like blades or razors like on their claws.
Really?
Right? Yeah, and then they go and they just like cut each other up.
That's horrible.
I can't imagine that somebody would think that that's a good form of entertainment.
But how, like, do they, try to do something to the chickens so that they want to fight? How do they?
I don't know. I've never watched one, and it's not.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not going to either. I'm not supporting that.
So in Rome, they use them for divination. So probably to try to like find things out about the future because they think it's a divine animal. So maybe they can find out what's going to happen in the future. Maybe by sacrificing them or something, right?
Okay.
Okay, continuing. People, however, soon discovered how tasty a chicken could be.
Ooh.
Right? One of the first places where large groups began eating chickens on a regular basis was in Israel around 400 BC.
Okay, so in Israel they started eating the chicken. I wonder who was the first person to be like, okay, let me see what this bird tastes like.
Yeah, I always wonder that about a lot of foods. Like, who's the first person to decide, let me try that. Let me see if that tastes good.
You never know. And they found out that this flightless bird was actually tasty. And tasty is an adjective. Basically means it tastes good. When you put it in your mouth, you get very happy.
So if something is tasty, then it tastes good.
Yes.
Okay.
So an example sentence would be, Jules quite enjoyed eating the tasty burger. Okay, continuing. Over the next 1,000 years, more and more farms throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia began raising chickens.
Because they're
Okay.
so tasty, and the words start to spread like, wow, if you try chicken, it's the best.
Yeah. So now we've learned that in the beginning, chickens weren't actually eaten by people, right? They were used for cockfighting. They were seen as divine creatures, even for pets at some point.
Yeah.
But then eventually they found out how tasty chickens were.
And so they started breeding them more and more. And so once there were like so many of them, they became less like, these special animals.
Yeah.
And we just realized how useful they were for people pretty
For
much to
bellies.
eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
That's all we have time for today. And go out and enjoy some chicken, unless you're a vegetarian like me.
All right. Bye, guys.
Chicken 在美国俚语当中其实有胆小鬼或是懦夫的意思。当我们说 Don't be a chicken， 不是别当一只鸡，而是说别那么没胆，别当胆小鬼。那老师们在讨论这个用法的时候呢，还有提到 scaredy cat， 就是指胆小鬼或是容易受惊吓的人哦。好，课文接着写到说，在这些地区啊，鸡原本并不是被用来当作食物，反而被视为外来的宠物，太稀有而不能吃。那有些人甚至还认为呢，它们是神圣的生物。在埃及呢，最早的鸡是为了斗鸡比赛而养殖的。那在罗马，鸡被养在神庙里面，是为了占卜用的。好，那很快的呢，人们就发现鸡肉有多么的美味了。大约在西元前400年前，以色列呢是最早有大批人开始常常吃鸡肉的地方之一哦。那在接下来1000年，欧非亚各地越来越多的农场都开始养鸡了。好，单字 creature 它是名词，就是生物或是动物。Tasty 是形容美味的、可口的。那补充单字 exotic， 它可以描述是具有异国情调的、外来的，或是描述奇特的。那么 divine 它是描述神圣的或是神的。这边它还可以当动词用，去表达猜测、揣度。那么 divination 这个名词则是表达占卜预测。好，再来文中说的这个 cockfighting 是指斗鸡比赛。Shane 老师提到说，在斗鸡比赛呢，有人会在鸡爪上面装刀片诶。我们补充一下刀片的英文 blade， blade 表示刀片，或者是也可以表达风扇等等的叶片。那这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 to too 加上形容词或副词 to to 再加上原形动词。这样是表达说太怎么样而无法怎么样。那这个句型它是带有否定的意思哦。我们可以在这个不定词 to be 前面加上 for somebody or something 去表达对某人来说，就某事而言。我们看2个例句。She was too tired to go shopping with us. 她太累了，无法跟我们一起去逛街。He spoke too fast for me to understand. 他说话太快，我听不懂，我没办法听懂。再来看第2个重点是 on 或 and 加上形容词加上 basis 是表达在什么原则上，以什么为基础。这个名词 basis 在这边就是指基础或是根据。好，那来看常见的用法就有 on a daily basis 就是每天的。On a weekly basis 每周的。On a monthly basis 每月的，或是 on a regular basis 经常的、规律的，或是定期的，这时候它就相当于 regularly。好，我们来看2个例句。They go for a walk on a daily basis. 他们每天散步。We've been saving money on a regular basis. 我们一直有在定期存钱。好，以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The average chicken may not seem that important. After all, there are billions of them. However, their eggs and meat keep countless people fed every day. In fact, humans have been relying on chickens for thousands of years. Modern chickens are related to the red jungle fowl, which is found mainly in Southeast Asia. Some scientists believe rice farmers in central Thailand started feeding these birds around 4,000 years ago. Then, humans began breeding them and transporting them across the oceans. They likely reached northern Africa and Europe around 800 BC. In these areas, chickens were not used for food at first. Rather, they were considered exotic pets as they were seen as too rare to eat. Some people even thought they were divine creatures. In Egypt, the earliest chickens were bred for cockfighting, while in Rome they were kept by temples for divination. People, however, soon discovered how tasty a chicken could be. One of the first places where large groups began eating chickens on a regular basis was in Israel around 400 BC. Over the next 1,000 years, more and more farms throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia began raising chickens.
Torik Village is an Amis Aboriginal town. It's located on Taidong's coast in Cheonggong Township. The village is a great place to learn about local Amis culture. The villagers offer one-day tours. They show visitors around the village, the ocean, and the terraced fields. Shell flower weaving is a popular skill in the village. The fabric of the shell flower stems can be woven into baskets, buckets, sleeping mats, and even thatched roofs on some buildings. Visitors can stay in the traditional huts and sleep on a shell flower mat. Visitors can also learn about the local fishing and hunting techniques at Torik Village's beautiful beach. They can also take a ride on a traditional rubber raft. Don't leave before tasting the local cuisine. Torik Village uses local ingredients in fun and creative ways to make tasty new dishes.
你继续用到那一块没有？哦，它的，因为它会直接粘在锅子里面。它有去修这个。哎呀，好不好？
When traveling along the East Coast, be sure to learn about local culture at Torik Village.
See you next time!